Topic 17. The Education System in England with Mr. Alan Turney. Listen to Mr. Turney for the words.
O. Emerge. Area. Hence. Compare. Solution. Chaotic. Prevail. Campus. Divide. Compulsory. Infant. Section. Remain. Devote. Odd. Design. Establish. IQ. Intelligence quotient. Suitability. Academic. Qualified. Advance. Disqualify. Considerable. Prestige. Attach. Practically. Extremely. Tremendous. Provide. Scholastic. Alternative. Transfer. Specialized. Explain. Private. Recognize. Standardize. Institute. Initial. Certificate. Ordinary. Normally. Application. Feature. Institution. Popularity. Combination. Advantage. Individual. Paradoxically. Preparatory. Complete. Confusion.
Japan owes England a great deal. When our country was open to the rest of the world a century ago, England played an important role as a teacher, bringing into Japan the knowledge and know-how of Western civilization, without which Japan could not have emerged as a modern nation within the short period of time that she did. One of the most important areas in which England helped Japan was education. 100 years hence, the Japan of today is very different from the country England taught. I would like to ask an Englishman what the education system is like in England today and compare it with that of our country as we find it now. Perhaps we may find a key to the solution to the chaotic condition which prevails on the campuses of our country. Mr. Turney, will you open up the subject?
Yes. Broadly speaking, education is divided into 3 stages: primary, secondary, and what is called further education. Compulsory education begins at the age of 5 and continues until the age of 15. Let us first take a look at primary education. A child starts school at the age of 5 and goes to what we call the infant section of a primary school. He will stay here for 2 years and then go up into the junior section of the same school, where he will remain until he is in his 12th year. The latter part of his time at primary school will be devoted to studying for an examination which is called the 11 plus.
11 plus? That's an odd expression. What is it?
This is an examination which is designed to establish the child's IQ and to test his suitability for either academic or other forms of education.
I take it that if the child passes this examination, he is considered qualified to advance to a grammar school. If he fails, however, he is disqualified. He is, as you said, still in his 12th year. I gather then that in England it is very important for a child to go to grammar school, and there is considerable prestige attached to it. Then why is it so important?
Well, if a child does not go to a grammar school, he stands practically no chance of ever being able to go to a university, since it is the grammar schools that train the boys for this. Parents are, of course, extremely anxious for their children to go to a grammar school, and the resulting pressure on a child who sits for the 11 plus examination is tremendous.
Young people of England have company here. Tell me what happens to a child who fails in the 11 plus.
A boy who fails the 11 plus examination goes to a secondary modern school. This is a school which provides a general education up to the school-leaving age of 15. At 15, the boy leaves school and starts work with very little in the way of scholastic qualifications. There is, however, one alternative. At the age of 13, a boy at a secondary modern school can sit for another examination. If he passes this, he will be transferred to a technical school, where he will receive a more specialized education until the school-leaving age.
If going to a grammar school is as difficult as you say it is, going to a university must be even more difficult.
Before I answer that, I'd like to explain the system of examinations that exists in England. All universities are public. That is to say, there are no private or state universities.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
All the universities recognize each other's examinations, and in an effort to standardize the examinations for university entrance, they have instituted a system called the GCE.
You have to spell that out for me.
These initials stand for the General Certificate of Education. The examinations for this certificate are held at secondary schools throughout the country. The certificates are at 2 levels, ordinary and advanced. The ordinary level certificate examinations are normally taken at school at about the age of 15 or 16, and the advanced level examinations at about the age of 18, though there is of course no age limit. Application for entrance into a university is based upon the number of subjects which a person has passed at ordinary and advanced levels, and each university states how many subjects are required in order for a person to be considered for entrance.
After a boy enters a grammar school, what does he do to prepare for a university education?
The unique feature of a grammar school is what is called its sixth form. The sixth form covers either 2 or 3 years from about the age of 16. At this age, a boy will take the ordinary level GCE, and if he does well enough and wishes to go to university, he will go into the sixth form to study for the advanced level.
Are grammar schools the only educational institutions which provide training for the advanced level GCE examinations?
Until recently they were, and it's for this reason that the majority of university students came from grammar schools. But there is now another kind of school which is gaining in popularity, and which will train a boy or girl for university. This is the comprehensive school. Comprehensive schools provide education in both academic and practical subjects. They are in effect a combination of the grammar school and the technical school. The advantage of this type of school is that an individual can be educated according to his or her own needs, and that pupils can change their courses at any time. This takes into account the very important fact that different children develop at different ages.
That is a very important fact to keep in mind. Mr. Turney, I have a question. You have spoken so far about public education. Isn't there any private education in England?
There is, and paradoxically the private schools are called public schools.
Tell me who goes there.
If a father wishes his child to have a private education, he sends him first of all to a preparatory school, where he will receive his primary education. A preparatory school very often trains boys with a view to their going on to a particular public school. Having completed his primary education, the child goes on to the public school of his parents' choice. He will study here very much the same subjects and for about the same number of years as a grammar school boy. Like the grammar school boy, he may or may not go on to a university.
That clears up the confusion that has existed in my mind. Now, about what percent of British school children go to university?
Only about 4%.
I know that although the number of universities in Britain is rather small, the standard of education is very high. Thank you very much for a very clear statement. Idiomatic English. Please repeat after me if you like. Play an important role. Japan now plays an important role in world affairs. Be like. No two things are more alike. Compare A with B. Compare the translation with the original. Find a key to. The police have found a key to the notorious bank robbery case. What is called? Mr. Yoshida sent his son to America to give him what is called a progressive education. Take a look at. Just take a look at my English composition, will you? Stand no chance of. Having caught cold, Sam stands no chance of winning in the speech contest. Have company. I hear you flunked. You have company here. I'm glad to have her company. Sit for. A friend of mine was admitted without sitting for an entrance examination. That is to say, he came home very late, that is to say about 11 o'clock. Spell out. Do I have to spell out everything for you? Stand for. Words stand for ideas. In effect. The poem was in effect the author's autobiography.